They trotted out a couple kids to be their poster children for this bill, and they then objected that anybody would look into the background of the families of those kids. Like, what is their financial condition? What help do they actually need? You can't do that now, because if you do, you are a purveyor of hate. Joining me now, Michelle Malkin from www.michellemalkin.com, also the proprietor of hotair.com. You want to go there. Somehow, Michelle, you've gotten yourself named one of the big villains in this battle. How'd you do that?
Yeah, call me a low-life scumbag, John. I'm right up there now, I suppose. Well, I listened to folks in the blogosphere. There were a number of people asking questions about Graham Frost and his family. He's the 12-year-old that Harry Reid roped into doing the Democrat radio address a couple of weeks ago. And it turns out that this is not such a great poster family for arguing for a massive entitlement expansion of the CHIP program, because regardless of President Bush's veto, John, this family would have been covered no matter what. And then, of course, you start looking into their financial assets and the situation that they were in before they went on the government program, and there are some fundamental questions about who should be entitled to government-subsidized health insurance in the first place. This was a 2-property, 3-vehicle driving family with 4 kids who somehow are able to attend private schools, each of them. Some of them apparently have financial aid, the others we don't know about. And it certainly is within decent public policy rights to ask whether this is the family that is precisely the type or exactly the type that should benefit from government health insurance. And,
Michelle, what Nancy Pelosi seems to be saying is,
yes,
when we bring out a kid to be a poster child for our entitlement programs, they are off limits. They're it's out of bounds to question them or to look into them. That they are just as protected as any kid who is still sitting in a classroom, not in front of a TV camera. In reality, just to be honest, that really isn't the way public debate in this country works, is it?
No, it really is not. And what this is, on the part of the Democrats, is the most cowardly and noxious version of playing the absolute moral authority card. And we've seen it with the war. You were talking about the war, John. And we've seen it with Cindy Sheehan. If you questioned her motives, if you questioned her facts, if you questioned what she was doing in front of the cameras from the time that she parked herself in front of the Bush Ranch down in Texas, you were a cruel person who was, beating up a mourning mother. And of course, years later now, we all realize what a kook Cindy Sheehan is, and it is certainly acceptable to call her that. But when you have Democrats who are using 12-year-old children who were in horrible circumstances, terrible tragedies like a car accident, or the 2-year-old who they've now switched to because apparently our questions were legitimate enough that they've ditched the Frost family for another family, the Wilkerson family, who they trotted out earlier this week. You can't do it. Otherwise, you're an ogre, you're a hate monger, you're sliming children. And you have people like Paul Krugman and Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi going after not just the bloggers, not just the people on the internet who were digging into this because the mainstream media wouldn't, but of course all of hate radio. If you even mutter a skeptical word about these people, you're part of the slime machine.
Hey, Michelle, I just got 30 seconds left, so before I let you go, What about Randy Rhoads and that terrible accident where she seemed to have fallen down?
There are a lot of mugged by reality jokes going around yesterday. I'm thinking of selling a T-shirt that says, I was accused of mugging Randy Rhoads, and all I got was this lousy brown shirt. He did a fabulous job calling the left-wing blogosphere out yesterday for their tinfoil hattery, John. It's just, you can't make it up. They can't parody themselves.
They really can't. Michelle Malkin, thanks a lot.
Email John. Get the Gibson Radio Podcast. Look at pictures of him on his horse.
I saw a pale horse, a pale rider upon it.
Go to GibsonRadio.com.